Yeah, I'm going to make this video on a phenomena we're all becoming aware of and have been going through, but there hasn't been a real definition stated as to what it is, and it's the dream metaphor, which a lot of people are familiar with when a new term comes into your mind. Like you may hear bees, the bees, and you're like, it's the bee shamans, the bees, money, honey, and all these metaphors which don't exactly represent the actual bee itself, because even if you gaze at a bee and you break it down into what it is in the energy sense, if you're able to see, you'll know that a bee is not a bee. And then you would have to know about the process of what a bee does, and then you would have to realize the similarity between your actions and what a bee's actions are. Or even a term like money. What is money? Money could be the intention. If somebody's feeding you an intention to set your intent, which is a way that the universe, things within the universe actually have what is known as a collapsing feature, and it's stored in an intensity of pressure before you get to, well, let me make this a little simpler. It's like knowing there's a sun in the middle of your the plane you live on, and you see it, you know it's there, and it's just like gathering the knowledge from the point of view of, not from a point of view per se, but of the sense of a truth and getting to the cores of the truth. Or you may even just get the root of the matter, and knowing what you're perceiving, what resonance the suns permit. Or maybe you'll know a wider view, like the totality of a sun. With most of these things, you would have to go higher. You would have to know what suns are. Then you would get to galaxy, and what is galaxy, and you would have to accumulate a lot of knowledge in the sense of conscious understanding. You would need to be mentally stable, and you would have to have a sober mind for the awakening, the dream awakening state, which is not so much immersing yourself into it, but perceiving it is the dream awakening state, which the awareness is at a high focus state, and there's no need to be asleep to analyze it. It can be done without the immersion all the way into dreaming, which is kind of a difficult subject to talk about also. And I only say so because of something I'll speak about one time in this video. Then I won't make it such a topic so it doesn't oversaturate anybody listening to these videos. And that's the fact that even our dreaming and our dream awakening states are more of an illusion than a reality. Because this is something that a lot of people don't know also, is that the Elohims and all the gods create higher illusions. There's even 13-dimension illusion, and I'm going to say 22. I think I've seen 33, and I've experienced 50, which is 50 strands of DNA, but I don't know how much illusion. That was illusion also on my part, but it's such a high illusion, it's probably closer to a lower reality, in which you could say I've maybe even experienced a 13-dimension reality, which is true. Now that I say it, I perceive that what I went through was closer to reality than illusion. Maybe even touched reality, but it was the times that it happens is for such a short period of time. It's not a base frequency. So when we're talking about dream metaphors and who uses metaphors, we all know that these there's groups that are using these right now, and you could start with the gods. And I don't know if you want to include Elohims in that category, but we will this time also. And also galactic, the people in the galactic community. And the galactic community, when I say that, is the people that are receiving the messages from the gods through channeling and light codes and all the possibilities through the mental faculty and through intent. Some people do receive them through intent, which is they're given a manifestation and it unfolds. Okay, so we have a dream metaphor, nature, and our processes. Our processes create our belief systems. Nature is the reality in which we're living in, which is almost everyone here on this planet has a deep carnal nature, a little bit of spiritual nature. Some people don't even examine their own spiritual nature. It just occurs to their being, and they kind of value over it, where they're immersed totally in an illusion, and their body's doing something totally different than what they're doing. But it's through seeing, and in seeing everything is direct, so you don't know what it is. There is no lower process in there. That means everything is more direct, and you don't have to have all the small lines to perceive what you're doing, because you know what you're doing. That means if you know you're on a channel, even though no information is coming through, you're on a channel. You know. It's just silent knowledge, direct knowledge. Just like a direct current. It moves as fast as energy moves, as fast as you would say light moves, or any high source of energy, which is nature. We should all know this on this planet, of the true nature, and then we should be able to associate it with anything we see or do on the planet, and know that things do move that fast, even around us. Even though we feel like we move slow, nature moves quick. So we had our process, and then we move on to beliefs. How do we hold beliefs? How do we hold beliefs? Let's say we get immersed in these processes that we carry out, and we kind of go through the laws of the universe, and we don't touch on everyone per se, in the sense that we know, just like I was talking about with the direct knowledge thing, where things happen to our higher on a higher level, the higher mental level. And these beliefs are consolidated by what we take as nature and all that's possible. What we don't take into consideration is that anything you do can be taken apart, and it doesn't have to be held in that way, because what we don't realize is that the rule of knowing nature and energy is something that we haven't resolved yet, as to the mystery of it, what that entails. We say we know it's true, anything could be anything else. This pen is not a pen. You know, some people could say it's a piece of plastic. Some people may only see the words. See how that changes? You could say there's ink in the pen. You could say it's an atrocity to nature itself. You could say it's within the possibilities of nature, and just an unhealthy mental balance. You could also say that's not a pen, and I'm not concerned with it. It's too small of an issue to take on. But by gazing at it and seeing it, I've taken on that topic of not taking it on, and practicing control, discipline, forbearance, timing, my own will, or will itself, which is a higher intent, many intents. And I see all those intentions, and I could undo it. So there are things you can do to come to these realizations. Also entering into a dreamlike state known as a second intention, where a dedicated student of life can begin to learn all these mysteries and associate themselves with that. But there is a barrier and a breach that definitely needs to be crossed for that to happen. And I'm talking about it only in one sense at the moment. So we also have the lower self, the higher self, and mental balance. Well, as above, so below. And you can see that in nature, like even a round object that's holding itself in a definite area in space has to balance the higher substance of itself with the lower. And usually heavier stuff sinks lower, and that's more condensed. That's like matter compared to spirit, which spirit would be called light. So it's like light matter and consolidated matter. The light stuff is the stuff that floats to the top and can be easily distinguished and made use of, and gives propriety to seeing the denser stuff without being totally immersed in it. The higher stuff can see the lower stuff. When in the lower stuff it's harder to see the higher stuff, but by having the totality of the whole sphere, one can return to the higher self through a process of knowing that will, those many intentions. And that brings about things like the control and the discipline, and knowing about the rules of the Kabbalion, and through intelligence. That's a good little outlet for everyone to know. Through that intelligence, you know, if you start breaking these words down, some of y'all might want to go to study the root words of where they came from, and a lot of it you could probably find in the with the Spanish, not Mexicans, but the Spanish, the old Spanish. They did a good thorough examination of this knowledge when their type first began. Every species on this planet absorbed a certain amount of knowledge or took on learning aspects given to them by the gods, and some of them were like the alphabet was created by, or one version of the alphabet, which is a popular one, was created by the Spanish a long time ago, before the people of Spain. So I put here with the higher self and all that stuff, and the mental balance, the 7 laws of the universe, which is a good overview of what all beings should know in the Kabbalion. And those things take a lifetime. You may feel like you reached the pinnacle real fast, but as you know in life, those are just pinnacles, and there's always more that could be learned when the subject's taken on again. It's just you filled your cup up for a while, and then you have to learn what you took in and absorbed, and expand and contract and all those things, just like the universe does, and planets do, and bodies do. And that's by understanding what you learned. And okay, so let's move on again. I only have a couple minutes left on this. The carnal body, our version, Maya time, Atlantean time, Lemurian time. These are all timelines that a being could go to learn through dream time, through the second attention of focusing on those areas with those tools I was telling you about, the intelligence, you know, sobriety, and that lifetime discipline for wanting to become a student of what life is composed of for us as beings here on this planet. And dream awakening, which is also a part of what entails what we're about here on this planet as beings. So these are all passes or a map, passages to a map. And passages and wheels are what we always are living in and repeating, unless we learn our lessons and we let go of what we learned and remember the abstract while we're doing this. Those are all routes in which we need to take. Totality, you know, that full conscious perception of everything that's happened to us, that full recapitulation, that full knowing of, but just by focusing on those things, the magical acts could happen, and you can end up in places you've never imagined. That alters your perception and brings about new possibilities, not just demented perception, but perception where knowledge occurs, and something could happen to you that's never happened before. And you reach those higher states that you haven't reached, and the many positions in those higher states. So I can't keep going on with this video. My time's about to run out here. I just want to let everyone know I'm going to do another couple videos about these kind of about this kind of knowledge, so everybody could get a good overview of what to expect in the future. So thank you.